Hey, what's up, everybody? Social Reefer here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before I get into it, as usual, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been showing support, that's been giving me thumbs up, subscribing to my channel, engaging in my channel. You know, I really appreciate that. That's the reason I make these videos, and I can't say it enough, and I'll never stop saying it because this hobby, the most important thing of all, is for us to learn, you know? And for me, there's no better place to learn than from one another. So if I could pass down some information to you guys that could help you fix errors or avoid situations, that means I'm doing my job, you know? And on top of that, we could see each other's progress, you know? Because good habits create good progress, and that's what we want. So without further ado, if you guys love this type of content, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and show some love, engage, ask any questions, say what you feel, and let's talk about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, without further ado, just want to give you guys an update. I've been working a lot on my tank. As you can see here, you can see all the droplets just going down the glass. Haven't even cleaned the tank. I've just been working, putting in work, moving stuff around, trying to make it look nice, adding new pieces of rock work like you see this torch here, which, by the way, is beautiful. I love this torch. It's one of those new torches. I don't know what they call them, but I love it. I love it. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, man, you know, I added a whole bunch of new SPS. This is where I've been putting most of my work into. Now, I know it may look simple, and it looks like I was just gluing a whole bunch of stuff everywhere, but I promise you it's way more complicated than that, and it was way harder than what it looks. This is just the finished product. But I enjoyed it, you know, and the main reason why I did this is because I honestly hated this side of my tank. I hated it. It looked neglected. It didn't look like I was actually putting in any effort. And most importantly, you as a reefer, you can tell when something needs work. Eventually, it's gonna be a distraction. So while you're trying to focus on the beauty, like, oh wow, look at how nice this section worked, eventually stuff like what I used to have here is gonna catch up to you. I used to have the big red Monty cap here, and I just didn't like it, to be honest. I didn't like it. So I took down the entire Monty cap family. I don't want no more Monty cap in my tank. I just didn't like, you know, it's not that I don't like the coral in particular. I just don't like how it looks in my system, because Monty caps, don't get me wrong, they are very beautiful coral. It just didn't work out for me personally, and I just can't find a good spot for it right now. If I do find a good spot for a Monty cap somewhere along the line, I'll get them again. But I gave them all out. Some big, nice, chunky pieces, gave them all out for free. Didn't make a dime off of it. I just wanted to help out everybody in the community. I also took down my Setosa colony from over there, completely tore it down. And my Cali tort colony, that one, I didn't mean to. You know, I was taking it out. It was a huge colony. It was bigger than this green slimer that I got here. And as I was taking it out to move it somewhere else in the tank, I just slipped and I dropped it, and it broke into like 20 pieces. That one really hurt because I grew out that Cali tort for a while, and I did not want that to happen, but it happened, and it is what it is. I still have a piece of it here, which is already encrusting, so I'm gonna grow this baby out. It's a super beautiful, super healthy coral, so I have no doubt that I could grow that back out again. But yeah, man, I kept a piece of my Setosa colony. I put it down here. Since the Monty cap isn't shading all my sand bed anymore, this Setosa should have plenty of light because it's not really a high light coral. So it should have plenty of light to grow out down there. And it still has this beautiful, vibrant orange colors that I personally love. So I hope that it could do its thing down there. I just didn't like how it was looking up here. But yeah, I moved a whole bunch of stuff around. I still got a couple corals that I need to find places for in my rock work. But overall, I'm very happy. You know, I chopped down some of my bird's nest colony as well. I gave that away for free. And yeah, it's a work in progress still. This is not the final result, but it's one step in the right direction, I want to say. You know, I was having a issue with coloration in my corals. Now, I know you guys may think that based on the colors that you see in the videos and how nice everything looks, like, oh, what do you mean coloration? Trust me, I was having coloration issues. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about, specifically in my SPS, because I find that LPS, they are much hardier and they find a way to maintain their color better than other corals do. Look at how beautiful my amazeballs is looking. This thing, I'm telling you, I put a video on my Instagram and I said this amazeballs is gonna take off this year, and that is my goal. I wanted to double in size this year, and I'm looking forward for it to do so. But yeah, so the SPS wasn't coloring up, and it was bothering me a lot. Now, I want to give you guys some information. If you're running a turf scrubber like I am, some people like turf scrubbers, some people don't. Let me show you guys my Sump. I'm running this turf scrubber pretty much almost 24/7 to keep nutrients down, because I like to feed a lot and I need as much nutrient export as possible, given that I don't like to do a lot of water changes. So I use this turf scrubber a lot. I also use Chato Grow, but I wasn't using it properly. I did an ICP test recently, and it turns out the iron in my system was completely down to 0, and the iodine completely down to 0. Now, I was always complaining about this particular coral here. It's growing, it's encrusted. This is supposed to be an angry bird, and I know it is an angry bird because I bought it from a very reputable vendor. The problem is that it wasn't getting the right amount of iron and the right amount of iodine that it's supposed to get, which are two of the main elements that corals need for coloration, for pigmentation. So if you're running a turf scrubber like I am, make sure that you're dosing your Chato Grow to maintain the iron up in your tank, and also make sure that you're keeping track of your iodine levels. Now, iodine is a tricky element, and it's something that we must all be very careful. Even if you're an experienced reefer, be very careful with it, because it's very easy to overdose it as well. So it's not something that you should take lightly. Be very meticulous and making sure that your measurements are very exact. With me, I'm using Lugo solution from Brightwell. I use it to dip my coral after, I cut them, and I'm also gonna use it as an iodine source for my tank. I'm just throwing in 1 drop a week, and that's it, so that I could catch up, because the iodine levels being at 0 is not beneficial if you're trying to get the most coloration in your corals. Now, ever since I found that out, it has been like about a week now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very slight, but I am starting to see better coloration in my Angry Bird. The polyps are starting to look pinkish. They were grayish when I first, started paying attention to it. Like, I was just dissatisfied. I look at it every day and I'm like, yo, this doesn't look like an Angry Bird. Well, and it's growing, so I'm thinking it's healthy because it's growing. But, it's not getting its coloration because of those certain elements that I was missing. So ICP tests are very important. It's something that I'm actually going to consider doing more and more, just to make sure that I'm dosing properly and that everything is nice and stable. But yeah, outside of that, guys, I'm just trying to maintain everything, keep everything stable. And the tank is doing great. I didn't even focus on my sump with you guys. It is something that I recently just gutted out and I cleaned, and I am so happy. Guys, if you don't clean out your sump, do it. I promise you, you're gonna appreciate your system more, because keeping your sump clean, well, for me personally, I just love it. I like to look down here more often now. Everything just looks pristine, and it looks the way that it used to be when I first got my tank. I took out all the equipment, I cleaned out all the pumps, I cleaned out the heaters. Everything is just running good, you know? I also, big shout out to Lakeside Reefer. I forgot to mention that. I was having issues with my dosing lines, with the dose. I hate those airline tubing lines or whatever you call them. I hate them. Like, they used to always get like clamped or something, and I wasn't getting accurate measurements in dosing because of it. So he told me to look into RODI tubing. It's basically like you have to do a DIY where you use RODI tubing for your dose instead of using the regular dosing lines. Oh my God, that made the world of a difference for me, man. Look at this. Let me show you guys. Don't mind the mess, because I got towels there, because I'm still planning on working on this tank as we speak. But yeah, look, you add these little brackets here to your dose, connect the ROD lines to it. It makes everything 1,000 times more accurate. 1,000 times more accurate. You know, like it's little things like that that puts you above and beyond. But yeah, guys, I'm just here running my mouth. You know, I don't have, you guys already know how I am. For those of you who watch my videos, I don't have like a set things that I go through. I'm just talking to you as I go, letting you know updates and little tweaks and changes that I make to my aquarium that puts me on the next level. And those are the little things that we need to look for in our aquarium. That's what works for me here. What works for you is the more time that you invest into your aquarium, you're gonna notice subtle details. Don't ignore those subtle details. Try to lock in and focus on those subtle details and make the adjustments that are necessary in order to, you know, make it just a little bit better, you know, and start trying to focus more on the little details. That's what really makes us successful in this hobby, is focusing on the little details, I believe. When you focus on the little details, those little details could get you above and beyond, I promise you. You know, because one little detail leads to another. And once you start checking off every little thing that comes into mind, you start noticing like, wow, my system is doing so much better. And it's because you was focusing on that. So with all that said, guys, I'm not gonna keep talking. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for engaging on my previous videos. Thank you all that basically gave me well wishes for my newborn child. Thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you love this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and comment down below and let me know how you feel, what you think. Let me know things that you do in your system that maybe I could learn from. You know what I'm saying? But with all that said, guys, peace out, and until the next one.